pro wrestling. For years, Zach Monster has held a monopoly on each and every one of you. You cheered for him. You begged for him to be the Top Crown champion. And then everything else went to hell. Everybody, the asylum ran itself. The inmates ran rampant. And what did this organization need? It needed a lord, a knight in shining armor. Hell no. It needed a goddamn king. And I give to you your lordship, Sir Merrik Donovan. All hail the king. Huzzah! Huzzah!
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
One. Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to 101 at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 62 of 101 here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And man, if we don't have a good one for you today here on July the 20th, I think it's 23rd now. I don't know, the days are mixing in. 24th, July the 24th here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. But with me today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a extremely special guest. He is the real is it real pro, real time pro?
It's real pro.
Real pro. And that's the Real Pro Wrestling Top Crown Heavyweight Champion of the World, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan. His Lordship. Merrik, it is a pleasure, my man, to have you with us today. How's everything going?
Everything's good. I'm thankful for being here. It's awesome to finally get to talk to you.
Yeah, man. It's funny because this has kind of been in the works for a while. We talked about this about a year ago.
Yeah.
And mostly my fault. We'll take that blame. Mostly my fault trying to get this thing together. And, but now we finally got an opportunity to sit down with you. And this to me is a great moment because, yes, his Lordship is from my hometown, so I do bend the knee when the time is proper. So I'm very excited to have Merrik here with us today. So before we get going, Merrik, I want to get started with something very important, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the check-in. All right, Merrik. So pretty much with the check-in, man, I just kind of want to check in on you, see how things have been going for you personally here over this year. I mean, it's been a really good year for you. So just want to check in on you, see how things have been.
Yeah, no, this year's been great. So this is actually year 1 and 7 months for me as far as like wrestling out in the wild, like I like to say. And just in this year, I've debuted for like AEW on Elevation, where I wrestled Jay Lethal. I obtained my first championship, single individual championship, the Top Crown Championship, of course. Right here is these beads. They're more of a rites of passage. There is a wrestler in the Georgia, North Carolina area called Joe Black. And I first met him, I want to say December here in this one show that we were both doing called KOBK, Sold Out. And he seen me and he took a liking to me. And then so we seen each other later on at the second KOBK show. And finally we went to a show together and he seen me and I had a match with this guy named the Infinite Man, or Tim, who's another wrestler from the North Carolina area. And he gave me these because he was just like, I see you, a lot of you and me, or a lot of me and you. And here's the rite of passage. So like this year is really been really good to me, and like I've just been really proud, just what I've been achieving, and like I don't want to stop yet. Like I'm still hungry and still wanting of more.
And that's the most important thing is to keep taking that next step. I mean, like I said, I remember watching in the beginning. I know we talked about it beforehand, and I was like, man, my man is really getting it in. I love it. And it's just it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see. Now we're gonna get into a little bit of things here. So the first question I got for you today is, obviously, you're not all wrestling. Now, a lot of people may not know that you have a pretty good sports background now. And so I want to know this before we get into that sports background, but, kind of where your passion for sports, where did it come from? Like when you were little, Merrik, and you said, man, when you were little Knight, when you weren't quite the strong lordship that you are now, when you were at that point, can you kind of tell us, how Merrik got to this point, where that first moment you was like, oh my God, I love sports. I got to get into it.
When I was younger, my mom put me into soccer, and, she, for some reason, she always loved soccer. And I was like, okay. And like, I loved it. I enjoyed it. And then for those first 3 years, and then later on, I went to football just to try that out. And then eventually I went back to soccer, and it's just, just the drive and wanting to just compete, and to grow and to develop with other people as well. Like it was a lot of fun. And then it really wasn't until high school when I started wrestling amateur, of course. That's when I found like just a true want and desire and passion. Because it's just like I want to win, like I need to win, and like especially if like just wrestling is you're by yourself, you have no one else to depend on, so you're always trying to figure out and find more, and you always have to dig deeper within yourself. So just from that, it's just like, oh, I need this, I want this. So I really have to say, just my freshman year of just wrestling. And at Amelia County, it meant a lot to me. A-Town, man.
A-Town all day. And that's the thing, and that's where our connection comes from, from the Queen State itself, VA in the building. Watch out, y'all. the beautiful kingdom of Winterham. I'm just throwing it out there for those who don't know. But it's crazy because I've got a chance to see you grow from a little man to where you are now. I mean, we're only a couple of years apart, but I mean, just being able to see you grow as an individual, even when you kind of snuck over to Cumberland County, and became wrestling coach over there. I remember one day you came over for an event. I gave you some crap at the door. That feels like forever ago now when we were at a million event. So, but I mean, not just on the wrestling front, a lot of people don't know one of the best kickers in Amelia County High School history. I'm about to toss this one. I look at our girl Jamie. Is that Jamie Barber up in there? Yes, sir. Jamie did a little something herself out there. She was in Longwood, I believe, and she was playing softball out there, if I'm not mistaken. And she did some really good things for the county as well. But look at you, man. Look how cool you were back then, rocking the 36 jersey. You know what I'm 36.
Saying? Wow.
Toss back picture, right? I know. I remember, and I announced the high school football games, and so I remember every time Sir Merrik would get up to kick. I had a proper saying at the time of going through, and he was setting up his kicks, but he was one of the best kickers that Amelia ever had, and so much love to you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a thing, man. The green and gold definitely runs deep. Now, obviously, you talked a little bit about your amateur wrestling background, and where that how that was very influential to you. Now, tell us how that amateur background kind of grew into saying, all right, I want to be a professional wrestler. Like it's in my blood. I mean, we all are fans. Most of us are fans, but tell us how that kind of transcended you into becoming a professional wrestler.
Cool. So first, actually, I'll go back a little bit further because really everything with wrestling, it really started with Mr. Manning. That's the craziest part. So I used to be staying in the library all the time. And he came to me one day. He was like, hey, you like that professional wrestling, don't you? You should try out for the wrestling team. And to me, like, it was weird because I've never really said much about liking professional wrestling. Like I watched it. I'm trying to think if I said much, but I can't really remember because I think in that time I was watching TNA more than I was watching anything else. So I was like, all right. So I ended up trying out for the team and I loved it, fell in love with it. So fast forward to like when I was coaching and everything, I recently just gotten, just had a breakup. And, I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm ready to like move on with my life. I'm like, what exactly is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to do? And something about me was like, you're still competitive. You still want to do more. Like you want to still give. So I was like, So I thought about it. And like at that time I was watching Ring of Honor a lot. And Leo Rush at the time just won the top prospect championship or top prospect tournament. And I was just like, he's the same age as me. Like, why can't I do that? I can do that too. So really it was just that, like just the wrestling, and I had nowhere else I really wanted to go, and I wanted more life experience. So what ended up happening was I said, you know what, I'm going to go wrestle. That's what I decided to do. I'm going to go wrestle. So I did my research. I was actually going to go to Maryland Championship Wrestling, which is in Maryland. That's where Leo went because I'm a real big Leo fan. And I actually had a friend that was like, hey, you should go to Devon school. So I was like, all right, I'll see. So I did, I did what I could. And, I used, at the time I was coaching still for Cumberland, and I used that whole coach check to pay for my whole year of wrestling.
Right.
So, wrestling paid for wrestling, and it still pays for it now.
So that's an interesting thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I remember having a coach check and using some things for it to get to, to build this network. So it's hilarious that I wouldn't have never known that. That's a pretty good deal, man. So wrestling pay for wrestling.
Wrestling pay for wrestling.
Wrestling pay for wrestling. Now you talked a little bit about, being a part of Devon's school down there. And I remember like when you first started and you had told me that you were in it. I remember you showing a video clip of getting suplexed, I believe by Devon. And I said, man, how cool is that? Even if you never did anything else as in a wrestling, I mean, if as a fan, if it was me, that'd have been a career highlight for me. Just getting suplexed by one of the greats, by a WWE Hall of Famer, a million-time multiple, tag team champions. So how was that experience, man? Having that chance to kind of like, go to that school and, just get a chance to rub elbows with somebody like Devon.
Yeah, it was actually a phenomenal chance. And see, I don't know if I ever told you, actually, I was also getting trained by Billy Gunn as well.
Really?
Yeah. So when I first started at the time, Devon and Bubba, because it was still Team 3D, they were traveling a lot. Devon was with WWE as producer, and Bubba was with ROH. But there's also a second school in Connecticut as well, and that's where Bubba usually is at. So we needed more, trainers and help. So at the time on Wednesdays, we would have Billy Gunn come in.
Awesome.
So yeah, and then my other trainer, if you're familiar with AEW, is Serpentico. He was my main trainer at the time. So I just have a whole bunch of different like just lineages of like Hall of Famers and just wrestling training to begin with. And it's great. It's phenomenal because you learn in so many different ways. Like we learn a way of preparing ourselves for television versus just preparing ourselves for people, in the crowd, and it's all development because it all creates and helps you to be a person bigger than who you are once you get into the ring. So just learning from all of them and just being able to say, oh, hey, I learned from this guy. And people's like, huh, what? Like, it really didn't dawn on me to like what level and what extent I'm just, training in until like one day Rick Swan just walks in the door and I'm just like, what? Where am I? So it's just phenomenal, and it's a great experience from start to finish.
It's fun. I met Rick Swan one time at WrestleMania 34. We were down there, a couple of friends. We went to WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans, and they had to like right across the street at the convention center. All these wrestlers were over there, old timey wrestlers, $1 Million Man, Ric Flair, Kevin Nash. I mean, you name it, Scott Hall, God rest his soul. And then we were walking through, and we walked into Rick Swan. I got a picture of him, and we just had a great conversation. And we were telling him how we felt like he got gypped at WWE, and he's going to get his time to shine again. And then a couple of months later, he was back at it doing his thing. And so that's a pretty good deal, man. So that's the thing to me, like, and maybe I as a wrestling fan out, because most wrestling fans always imagine what they would do if they were in the ring, or how they would be if they were in the ring, but you actually get a chance to go out there and do those things. And I will say, I mean, I've seen you go up and have some really great matches. I'm checking out the YouTube page, but probably one match that, meant the world, I would presume, is the match that you had with Jay Lethal.
Right.
You had that match on AEW Dark Elevation, and it was just a couple months back, and we were proud. If not, it may have been last year, but I know it wasn't too long ago. Can you tell us about that experience of taking on Mr. Black Machismo himself?
Yeah. So, wow. So, really, I know the guy that's over talent over there, and, I messaged him and I talked to him, and, he was like, all right, for extra work. So I came in to do some extra work, and just, we were waiting to see who we were going to get for our matches and stuff. And then, lo and behold, it was, oh, you get Jay Lethal. And I was like, huh? So it was just really cool. And I just was not prepared for it, in the sense of just like that this is actually happening. But it's funny to me because I've always talked, because Jay has a school here in Tampa, and I've always talked about, there should be an I-4, wrestling match, tournament, in a sense, because you have the people from DDA, which is Devon Deli Academy now, and you have Lethal School, and then you've also have your little pop-up schools here and there on the I-4, just to show like just the training and how much we've grown and what type of wrestlers we all are, and just to be that one, I guess, to have that first match with him, and it's just like, okay. So it was a great experience. He's a great guy. Like I said, he has students as well, so he knows how to just work with people that are younger and not as experienced as others. And it was easy. It was fun. It was a great time. And because of my job, like just all those fans that were there, it wasn't like, oh, I'm starstruck. I can't move. I can't do anything. Right. I was prepared for what was going to happen. And I was just ready for it. It was just, it was great. It was
great. Look, I mean, it had to be an amazing experience. I mean, it's just, I know, and I know this, but my experience of being around people that like you see them on TV all the time. You say, oh man, I can't believe I'm around this person, or I can't believe I'm seeing this person. And being in this industry, in the sports media world, I've been allotted to see a lot of people that I never thought I would see in person. LeBron James and all that stuff. I had a chance to be close to them. I mean, different players that are now in the NBA or NFL players and all that stuff, and the Aaron Rodgers, I get a chance to speak to those people, and even to this day, it's still kind of like after a while you kind of like, I spoke to this person, I hung out with this person, and so I know it, after you've seen a couple of people, it's like, oh man, I'm all right now. I've seen them. We good.
Yeah.
We good. So, is there anybody before I move on to the next question? Is there anybody that kind of starstruck you that you met so far, that you kind of say, oh man, wait a minute?
Really, the only, like I said, like it was really just Rick Swan. I think for the fact, because I wasn't prepared to see him, right? Because like I said, like just training with Devon and Billy and Bubba and stuff, like I was mentally prepared for like, okay, cool, it's just it's just another person, they just wrestle. Right. But then just like, we're sitting there at the school, just getting ready to train, and he just walks up and we're just like, whoa, y'all can do that? Like, it just never struck that people just walk in. So you're just like, oh, okay. And that's the only one that really starstruck me. But like, because of my job, actually been allotted to see some of these guys too. So like I've met Kurt Angle because he's come to my job, and I've had a conversation with him like twice because he's come
Right.
twice. I've met Samoa Joe, Byron Saxton, Eric Redbeard now, because for some, like, my job is just an attraction that a lot of people like to come. There was one time where a whole bunch of NXT people were there. Mojo Rawley's been there. The announcer, I can't really remember his name right now, he's been there. So, you know, I keep getting all these wrestlers around me, and just after a while, you just learn that I'm exactly where you are, you know. So
Yeah. It's funny because I was doing some research, and I saw that on TikTok this young lady was enamored with Merrik Donovan. She was looking everywhere for you, and then she finally found your page. Is it funny to you now that when you go back and you say, man, I got you know, I mean, we all, you got fans, you know, and like when you're growing up, you don't think about that type of stuff, but you got fans. You have, you know, women like, oh my goodness, it's Merrik Donovan. Like, it's like when you're having those moments, have you gotten adjusted to that yet? Does that, you know, make you feel any type of way, or, you know?
I mean, I've adjusted to it. Really, it was only because of my job. Like, for some reason, once you get on a horse, everybody's like, "Oh, like, what a beautiful chocolate man!" Like, it's just that's so. I've gotten used to it. I wish I kept up with it because I was trying to use it as an outlet again for wrestling as well.
Right.
And it was funny because I just had a show last Sunday, and it just shows how large TikTok is, but how small it is, because I just had a show and this girl was like, wait, how do I know this guy? Like, I don't understand. It's like, oh, wait, it's one of the TikTok nights. And I was like, yeah, that's me. But like, at the same time,
the TikTok night.
yeah. At the same time, like, I put on my page, like, I'm a wrestler, you know, and you would think that people would see it, but no, because it's the, I keep forgetting the word now. Just the way that it's set up, people only see certain things; they don't see everything.
Algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm.
Yeah.
And so because the algorithm, everybody wants to see like me riding a horse and stuff like that. But then when it comes to like the wrestling, it's like, no, nobody wants to see that.
That's hilarious. So, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw it, I smiled. I said, "That's hilarious, man."
Yeah,
you know. But it's a pretty cool deal. I mean, I think I remember like when I was rollback, there was like some moments where people would come up to me, and like I had a lady come to my job, and I haven't told many stories. My wife, close your ears. I hope you're not listening. But I was when I was working at Walmart, I had just started doing the commercials, and I was actually not on the road. I was at the store, and some lady came to the front, a very attractive young lady, and she came to the front and she offered to take me out to dinner. She said, I found out you were here and I wanted to take you out to dinner. And my coworker wasn't having any of it. She said, "Nuh-uh, boo, he married. You ain't gonna be up in here doing that." Right. For my wife, my coworkers had her back, so don't worry about that. But she was really nice, but it just blew my mind that I know that probably I would have never got that type of hit if I wasn't on television. But
exactly,
you know, but that part used to drive me crazy. But you know, Merrik, you're in a better position than I am. You're a nice looking dude, and you're in shape. I was none of those. I was just
the popularity issue there.
Yeah. Now, before we move into the quick one segment, I do have one more thing I want to bring up on the wrestling front, and that's you are the Top Crown heavyweight champion at Real Pro Wrestling. And so I want to know, like, when you finally became champion, it's a beautiful. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw the promo video, the one that we played at the beginning, I was like, "Yo, that's beautiful." It's nice. I mean, but I wanted to say, just take us through that moment when you finally became a champion. Like, how did that feel? How was that moment for you when you became champion?
Oh wow! So card subject to change. It was supposed to be it was supposed to be me and this other guy. However, we're real people. Stuff happens in life.
Right.
And unfortunately, for health reasons, he wasn't able to compete, which is fine. So what ended up happening is we ended up having a tournament, tournament style setup for the show. So what ended up happening, it was supposed to be a 1v1, but it ended up being a 4-way.
Right.
So it was elimination 4-way, and just to fight through 3 other people to finally get this. It was an amazing feeling, just 5 years of hard work, and just finally I've reached something. I'm like, oh wow, somebody sees me. I did something correct.
Right.
So I was, just to attain it was amazing feeling. Just to, think like all the kids back home, they know that they can achieve something. They can, they're deserving of whatever they want and whatever they dream of getting. So, and like that's part of the reason why I do this. It's not just for me, but it's for everybody back home in Amelia, and coming to.
It's all about the green. And in the end, it's all about the green and gold. I think that's the one thing that, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I told somebody that one day, and I was like, why he rocked that green and gold, right? It's all about the A-Town. That's right. and it's a good thing to see, because I know, and I'm not trying to harbor on my experience, but I remember being at that point and, like being a hero. Like I came back home and I was getting like a hero's treatment, for going out here traveling the country and just, smiling and talking about ice cream on television for a little while. And so it meant a lot to me. But one of the biggest things I've always, tried to do, no matter what, if Amelia football is going on, I'm going to be behind the mic. I gotta be there for the green and gold in some form of the fashion. And, it's funny because the network started because of that. Like I wanted to give Amelia sports an outlet. Sometimes I wish I could do more than what I've been doing with what I've been doing. But I'm hoping that, that this outlet will give, people in Amelia a chance of time to shine. So that's always been one of my number one priorities with this is, to help the green and gold shine. That's always been big to me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to get back home so I can see a football game.
Hey, look. Well, I mean, team should be solid this year. I think last year we went 7-3. Made the playoffs, didn't kind of go our way, but Coach Chip Howard has done a really good job up there with the kids. They was up in some 7-on-7 tournaments out there at Virginia Tech. So they're doing some different things than they've done in the past. So hopefully we got something working down the pipe for that for the kids, maybe some like NFL football type intro type stuff, but I'll keep that on the wraps because we're not sure how that's all working out yet. But it's just it's just trying to give those kids the platform to give them to a next level. So they don't realize what you're doing now is going to open the door for them down the road. There's going to give them a light to say, well, look, Merrik did it. Look where he's at now. He's A-Town, he's green and gold, he's still representing, he's right there. So super proud of you, brother. Like I know I'll keep saying it, but I truly mean it. That's why I say it was very important to have you on this on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, y'all. Now it's time for my favorite segment of the show. This is my favorite segment because it's always fun to see. I love seeing the answers, but it's time for quick ones. All right, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan, are you ready for your version, the Merrik Donovan version of quick ones here on one-on-ones? All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here. So I got a couple of ones. I call them gimme ones, the ones that we kind of always do. I got a couple of fun ones in there as well. But let's start off with one of my favorites. Favorite sports moment.
I guess I'll go with when Carol Dake won 4 wrestling championships in 4 different weight classes for Cornell. That was awesome.
That's a good deal. Next one. Now, worst sports moment, and this can be anything from from your high school experience. This also can be from something that you've seen, but just worst moment that you've ever seen in sports, something that just bothered you, just still hasn't gotten out of your mind.
I mean, if we're going to say worst sportsman, we have to talk about the butt fumble. Nobody forgets about that one,
Right.
Like, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, butt fumble. But for me, I guess it would probably be when I suplexed myself on my head, in high school. So yeah, it might be that one.
No. Oh no.
I was trying to counter something and it didn't work out, and then lights went out for a second, but it's okay.
That had to be rough. That had to be rough. But you made it through.
I made
it through. All right. Next one on quick ones. Favorite athlete growing up?
I'll go with my first favorite, Stephen Davis, 48, running back for the Redskins.
Ooh, Stephen Davis. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I don't know why, but he was my favorite. He was my favorite running back. So yeah,
he was a tough runner, man. Washington had themselves a gem in him in the beginning. I know injuries kind of got him, but he was that year that he had that 1 year. I think he made the Pro Bowl. He went off. He was just so dangerous for Washington. I thought they had found that running back in the future. That running back position is a tough one to have longevity. And I mean, but man, he was amazing. Stephen Davis, that's a good one. I like that. All right, let's swing to pro wrestling here. Favorite wrestler growing up?
Favorite wrestler growing up. I never really had one, but I'll go with Leo. I know he's a younger wrestler, but for some reason, me and him and just me watching him is just somebody that captivates me. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I miss him on WWE because him and Lashley's chemistry, at least on the visual front, was amazing. Every time he came out, Lashley, I got a couple of my wrestling buddies. We'll go and we always watch pay-per-views together. We sit back and chill and watch, some matches and stuff together. And even now, and Leo, this is the effect he had. He's not even on WWE anymore. But every time Lashley come out in unison, Lashley, and Leo did that. But I think people don't realize, I think some people don't realize how talented Leo Rush is. I mean, I think I seen Leo. I want to say I saw him at I saw him at WrestleMania Access back in 2018. And I can't remember who he was fighting. Oh man, who was he fighting? Might have been fighting Theory. I think he might have been fighting Austin Theory. Don't get me wrong. It's been a while, but he was amazing in that. No, he fought Pete Dunne. Don't get me wrong. It was Pete Dunne.
Oh,
he
fought
Pete Dunne, and it was a great match.
Yes.
I mean, it was great to see live, and he's so quick. He's so athletic, and he's just one of the best pro wrestlers out there. I love Leo Rush. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Leo Rush. All right, here we got two fun ones here. Next one on quick ones. Worst candy you've ever had?
I mean, it's in the name, candy corn. I don't. It's nothing about it.
Absolute trash. Candy corn is absolute trash. I don't care what anybody says. I agree with you 100%, Merrik. The trash is candy. Worst candy in the game.
I don't understand why it's candy and why it says candy corn. There's nothing about it that appeals to it at all. It's just it looks like a tooth. It's just
it's nasty. Now that's what, like, I did a commercial back in 2013 where there was Starburst candy corn, and they made me, because I don't know why they thought this was cool. They wanted the little sharp part of your teeth. They wanted me to take the candy corn and put the candy corn in my tooth and make it look like a thing. And the whole time, my mouth, this is nasty, y'all, I apologize. Mouth just drooling. Yeah. And the candy corn is just drooling. So, oh, this is so nasty. Why they doing this to me? And then they didn't use it. That's what made it worse. We did this for like 20, 30 minutes and they didn't even use it. So candy corn, for me, trash. I'll throw one in there for you too, though. Good and Plenty. I don't know if you've ever had Good and Plenty, but it's nasty. It's like licorice.
Okay.
And it's like a purple and white box that says Good and Plenty, and it has white pieces and purple pieces in there, but it's licorice. It is the worst candy in the game. Candy corn and them are right there beside each other. It's terrible.
I feel like I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it. But
stay away from it. Stay away from it.
I'm good.
All right, last one on quick ones. If you could have a fatal four-way match with 3 wrestling legends, who is in the match with you?
I'll do John Cena.
Oh,
he's not old. He's a legend.
Yep.
He knows I make gold. You know, to counter John, I'll put John Bradshaw Layfield, because that was the building block to get him to where he needed to be. So, and I know they'll do good chemistry, good work.
He's the wrestling guy.
And then who would be the last one? I'm drawing a blank.
Tough one.
I don't want to mess up his name because it's Japanese. I would do Japanese wrestler, but I can't. I don't want to mess up his name, but I think it's Kenta. I think it's just Kenta, because you have Kenta Bushi, but he is just Kenta is another guy.
Man.
So he's just strikes. I enjoy strikes. So I want the worker who just works with you and just really good just chemistry. That's John, and then you got Kenta because he has his strikes,
right?
Hard style, and then you got John over there, John Bradshaw Layfield over there, just throwing lines out of nowhere.
Just a bruiser, man. He's just a bruiser. I'm gonna tell you what, this is gonna be a good match. Yeah. I mean, but the question is, how do you win this? How do you win? Who are you pinning to win this match?
It might have to be John, because John's a lesser known legend here, so it have to be him, and then that's what 16 championships. So I'm getting 16 championships all together. So
yeah. Look, pinning John Cena is gonna put you over big time. Yeah. It's gonna put you over big time. All right, everybody. That was a Sir Knight Merrik Donovan, a version of Quick Ones here on 101. And before we get out of here, I need you to do one thing for me, brother. All right. I guess once wasn't good enough.
You gotta leave a good legacy, huh?
I gotta leave a good legacy here. So with this being said, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan, we want to say, first of all, to the Real Pro Wrestling Top Crown Heavyweight Champion of the World, thank you, sir, for coming on and joining us today. This has been an absolute pleasure. This is something that's been in the works for a while, and I can't wait till we do another one down the road when you're taking over AEW or whatnot. And that I just can't wait for that moment, because not just as a fan, but just as someone that admires you and love the things that you're doing for the kids back home, for the community, for yourself, for your family. We're all proud of you, brother. That's one thing. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you for doing this, brother.
Always.
Now, before we go, obviously, we want you to leave your legacy, man. You got any special projects? We know there's a very important match coming in at the end of the month here. I believe it's the 29th, and if I'm wrong on that, so on the 29th, you're defending the championship for the first time, man. Can you? This is your time. If you got anything you need to say, here it is.
Oh man, so. Yeah, I'm defending my championship on the 29th. This is the first time. A little jitters, but I'm not gonna allow myself to just be undercut or to be, I have to bend my own knee for somebody that's just they haven't gotten what I've gotten to.
Right.
They've done their work, but their time is gone, and now it's my time. The vertigo, you lose your vertigo. So he lost his vertigo. He's a little dizzy, but it's okay, because now the true crown, the true Warrior Kingdom King, Lord of Real Pro is here to stay.
Your lordship has spoken, ladies and gentlemen. You hear me? Your lordship has spoken. The real king, the real king of Real Pro Wrestling is here. Sir Knight Merrik Donovan. All of you bend the knee to the Top Crown Heavyweight Champion of the World. Sir Knight Merrik Donovan, we truly appreciate you. Can you let everybody know where they can find you on social media, brother?
Yeah, so on all social media, it's SK Merrik Donovan. It's all the letter, SKMD is all capitalized on, I want to say Twitter. Apparently on Twitter it matters. But everything else, it's SKMD. If you put in SKM, it'll pop up on Instagram instantly. I also have a merch store. It's on brainbustertees.com. Just look up Sir Knight Merrik Donovan. You can buy all different types of my merch. This one I made personally, so if you reach out to me, I can send you one. I have sizes small through 4X. I have stuff that's Adventure Time themed. I have stickers, hats, shirts, hoodies, you name it. I basically have it on the site. And yeah, that's really it. That's all my main stuff. So I haven't been as active lately, but I'm working back.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
Now, once again, everybody, just a real quick for next week, episode 63, my man Danny Thompson will be on here. He's on there, talent and personality, Sports Radio 95.6 FM, 8:50 a.m. So he's going to join us, a man who has vast sports knowledge, is just as smart as they come. And we're going to have him on next week and pick his brain about a couple of things. So just make sure that y'all tune in for episode 63 next week. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, it has been an absolute pleasure to have Sir Knight Merrik Donovan here with us for episode 62. Merrik, don't hurt him too bad in your championship defense.
I'll try not to. No promises.
No promises. All right, everybody. I'm Darrell Owens. This is Sir Knight Merrik Donovan. He is the real pro wrestling top crown heavyweight champion of the world. We will see you all next week. Until next time. Thank you and peace.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got